So this film is taking you on an amazing trip round caviar. It's so nice.
Just bash him over the head with a baseball bat.
Let's just brought it back into 2019.
Absolute works of art. One of the most exciting things about being a chef is working with some of the rarest high quality ingredients in the world. And about 5 years ago, I was working in a fish restaurant in Mayfair shucking oysters, and it was the first time that I really got to experience caviar. The different types, the different locations. It's something that I don't really know that much about, and so this film is taking you on a caviar journey. Follow me. First stop on the trip is Caviar Artesian in West London. Hello, mate.
Yeah, how's it going, sir?
How are you?
Ready for your caviar tasting?
Let's do it.
Follow me.
They have an extensive selection of caviars from around the world. Caviar, teach me.
There are 29 different types of sturgeon. In the wild, they will live up to nearly 100 years old. The eldest being the beluga fish, which are absolutely humongous. Traditionally, the best caviar would come from, let's say, the Caspian Sea, bordering Iran and Russia. And now it is being farmed worldwide as well. This is the Royal Berry caviar. It's very much the entry-level caviar,
Okay.
but it's a very, very high standard caviar.
Okay, let's do it. Oh, that is so nice. It just dissolves. It stays molecular, and it just swirls around your mouth, and then it dissolves, and it's this really sweet, subtle, salty taste. That's divine.
Kick of salt right at the end. Onto the beluga now. As you can see, the roe is a lot larger and a lot more black cat.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it kind of looks a bit milkier,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
How much for 30 grams?
30 grams at 150 pounds.
Okay. Wow.
Butter, cream.
It's insane, isn't it? It's like, yeah, exactly what you say. It's got that butter. It's salty butter, salty cream, really luxurious on the palate, and it's just so Moorish.
Yeah. One of the ways as well that you could tell that caviar is of extremely high quality is if you smell your hand, and you should get no fishy after smell and no residue at all.
So beluga's the most expensive caviar, and that was really interesting finding out about that. But did you know that there's now caviar reared in the British Isles? I'm going to take you now to the first ever sustainable caviar producer, and he's up north in Leeds. Come on. Leeds seems like a strange place for fish, seeing as it's almost 100 kilometres from the coast. However, that was where I was going to meet John and Mark from KC Caviar. Right, gents, hello.
Hi, I'm John.
John.
This is Mark.
And why no kill?
When they say they kill sturgeon humanely, that's not what we found. Just bash him over the head with a baseball bat. And then they cut its throat, then they slice it open, take out the ovaries, and that's what they class as the humane way of killing sturgeon. So would you like to see how we do it?
Love to.
Follow me.
Got 6 rooms, creating winter, summer, spring. That'll give me eggs every year.
And that's what makes it sustainable.
Yeah, sturgeon will spawn every year. The sturgeon come into the stripping room, we put her on her back and massage her belly. The eggs will come out as she's due to spawn anyway. Once we've collected the eggs in a bowl, they go into the caviar production room.
So this is what you want to see. This is the exciting bit.
Cool.
Let's try some.
Wow, that looks amazing.
Have you noticed the size of the eggs?
They're quite big.
They are large. Most of the fish are older.
Okay. And that's the key thing, isn't it? Is that older sturgeon make bigger, tastier eggs.
Tastier eggs.
Okay.
Take a few eggs on your hand. As you burst the eggs, you get loads and loads of flavour.
Wow.
Okay. Every individual fish can have a slightly different flavour, and on every label we have the information about the fish.
So you've got real traceable provenance.
100% totally. And the best thing is, once we've had them here for 15 to 20 years, we release them to the conservation lakes.
Mark, thanks, mate.
No problem.
Good on you. John.
Good, thanks for coming.
Oh, mate. I'll have that on my toast tomorrow.
Right.
Thanks guys, see you later.
See ya.
Right, I've got to get back to London so I can get the lads round to the studio and so that we can taste the difference between these two caviars and see which one wins. Right, now I've got the lads turning up to do another comparison test, but before they do, let's just talk through some of the etiquette when it comes to caviar. So the first thing is that you can't use a regular spoon when it comes to caviar. That's all wrong. Basically, the stainless steel or the silver will oxidize and affect the flavor of the caviar. You've got to use mother of pearl. That's utensils that have been made from shells. Next up is the etiquette of eating it. What you do is you take a little caviar bump and that goes onto the hand, and the reason again is so that it doesn't interact with any other materials. So just a little bit for Uncle Food Busker, eh? Oh mate, that's so good. Now, in restaurants, caviar doesn't fly out the door every day because it's such a high-end food. It's often served with bellinis, and these bellinis are pre-made, they're sat in the fridge, they're going horrible. It's a rubbish way to serve caviar. The thing that got me inspired to do this whole video is a place in East London called the Quality Chop House, where they do this insane potato with caviar on top. I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to serve it to the lads when they turn up. First up, we need some beautiful Maris Piper potatoes. Okay, so you need Maris Piper potatoes, and what we're going to do is you need to cut them super thin. So we're using this mandolin, and we're just going to very quickly bash through. Watch your fingers. Oh, you motherfucker. I said watch your finger, bang. Blood is just such a pain in the ass, isn't it? Because it's just like, stop bleeding now.
It's just because you're just a little bit nervous with us there. I understand. Yeah, it's cool. Just need to calm down.
Right, okay, so slice it super thin, then lay them out to get a little bit of beef dripping, just the tiniest bit, just spread on each slice of potato. And then, most importantly, you need some salt in there, so just a little tinkle of salt. And then what you're going to do now is just stack each slice that was taken on top of its neighbour, basically. So you get perfect fit, because then you're going to squeeze those down, and then we're just going to trim the edges off. So just go round, and what you get is this perfect square that's been seasoned with beef dripping and salt. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now you want this to go into a medium hot fryer, so around sort of 150 and 160, and and the important thing is that you do these quite quickly, because you need the starch. You don't wash these. You need the starch to stick them together again. Now drop into our fryer. Just look at that work of art. Like, it is just genuinely a new form of culinary addiction. It is just delightful. Let's go and have a taste. Oh, man, that is good. I've got the crunchy, crispy, earthy potato that's just this incredibly sturdy, happy, wholesome platform for then the sophisticated, absolute buttery, creamy, salty eggs. It is a 10 out of 10. Oh, it's so, so good. The lads are going to be blown away by that. That is the way to serve caviar. Oh! You need to try this now. Put the camera down. Come and try this.
Hi, my name is Antoine Melon. I'm the CEO of Highland Hospitality. I've worked in 11 countries, worked in amazing hotel chains around the world and restaurant groups, and I know a little bit of caviar. I'm quite a connoisseur, having sold it in many restaurants, Michelin stars and so on. And very interesting to see today the difference between sustainable caviar and beluga.
Hi, my name's Matt Burgess. I'm the group head chef for a large restaurant group in London. I've worked at some of the best restaurants with some of the best chefs in the world. I don't know too much about caviar, but I'm loving the story about the sustainability of this Leeds stuff. But let's see what it's all about.
Okay, other hand first.
Okay.
So this is what they call a caviar bump. What you've got on your hand is you've got, on one of them, you've got beluga, and the other one you've got is the sustainable caviar from Leeds.
From Leeds?
From Leeds. One is £5,000 a kilo, the beluga, and the other one is £3,000 a kilo. This is the blind tasting. Which is which? Go. Okay. Now Antoine is a self-proclaimed caviar expert. So let's start with Matt first. Can you notice a difference between the two?
Yeah, I can. A lot more creamier, saltier, lighter fisher flavour on this one.
On the right hand.
Yeah, on the right hand.
Okay.
And then this one was like real punchy.
So there was a clear difference.
Yeah.
If you had to say which was which one do you think is the beluga?
Left.
Okay. Over to Antoine.
Beluga was right for me, and I could see it from the size of it. Having had a chance to have caviar a few times. I agree, yes, the left one, which I believe is the sustainable from Leeds, was very punchy, interesting flavor, really in your face. Beluga, I thought, was much more delicate, creamy. Yeah, I mean, both actually very good, but very different to each other.
Okay. So the key question is, though, is the difference in price worth it? Which do you prefer from a taste point of view? Antoine?
I prefer the beluga.
Okay, okay. Now, Matt, you know which is which. Which do you prefer?
I think for me, being entry-level caviar eater, would have to be the beluga.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the beluga's just, it's got more butter, it's got more cream. It operates differently in the mouth, doesn't it?
I think both were absolutely delicious, and in retrospect, what you're going to eat them with. Like, particularly traditionally, you would eat them with a Bellini.
I think that's the key element for me, is that it's one thing tasting an ingredient on its own, and then it's thinking about what ingredients that's going to go with, and then beyond that, what menu it's going to fit into.
Yeah.
The
What
three-course
kind of
meal.
guess you have? I think if I had connoisseur, I would definitely go for the beluga.
Yes.
If I had people that probably the first time they have caviar and don't automatically know the difference, I will try definitely the one from Leeds. Very interesting.
The one that is from Leeds that's also sustainable is £3,000. Beluga is £5,000 a kilo. Now, how does that affect your decision?
Massively. Within my range. Yeah. I love the story about this place in Leeds that does this. I think that it's really important that for the sustainability of the caviar industry, that there has to be a change. There has to be a change to the way that this is fished,
Yes.
you know?
Okay, right, I've got a treat for you. Absolute works of art. Right, this is Chris, a busketeer with incredible timing. He's gate crashed the judging panel. Are you willing to share with him?
He's all right, yeah.
Not
go on,
normally.
bring him
Not
in.
normally.
Bring him in.
Right, go for it. So I'm serving the potatoes with beluga. Sexy, right?
Beef fat, fishy saltiness, creaminess just running through.
This is what needs to change with caviar. Is caviar in restaurants is seen as a bit fuddy-duddy, whereas what they're doing there with the potato and that on top, with the sustainable caviar, I think that's killer.
That's just brought it back into 2018.
Antoine?
I'm going to put it on the menu.
Beluga or sustainable from Leeds?
I'm going to stick with the sustainable.
Sustainable, I think, every time is.
God.
I put both.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really good.